Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to WoT In Color, the dopest Black woman hosted podcast for the preeminent Wheel of Time series. I am Keba.
And I'm Shar.
Jumbo, my sister, how are you?
Good, Jumbo.
How are you? How have you been?
I've been well.
I'm so glad to hear that you've been well.
And you?
You know, I am enjoying some time. Taking a beat, taking a pause.
Always important.
Getting the mental health together.
Always important.
The emotional health together. The physical health together. And you know, I'm going to come back as a, what do they call them in the Marvel movies? The super soldiers? I'm going to come back as a super soldier.
You're going to be a super soldier.
I'm going to be a super soldier. I'm going to be the first Black woman super soldier.
With serum?
I've been injected with a kind of serum, but I don't think the listeners want to.
Oh, is this... WoT In Color After Dark? Wait a minute.
That's an After Dark comment.
Wait a minute. What?
And on that note, welcome listeners.
Welcome listeners.
Welcome back.
This is not WoT In Color After Dark. This is just WoT In Color.
Yeah, you can keep us on. You can keep the kids in the room, and you know, unless they cannot listen to cussing, because we cuss. But you know, yeah, we are family friendly to an extent. I'll put it like that. I hope you guys out there in the listening world are well. Wow. So I want to say thank you to everyone out there for your love on our trailer and episode 0. You guys have really...
Yes.
You guys know how to really make a gal feel special.
Yes. We see you.
And appreciate you.
Yes.
We are all friends in our heads and hopefully one day in real life.
Yes. Looking forward to the continual engagement.
Yes.
With the Wheel of Time fandom. It's been so incredibly dope. You all have welcomed us into this world. And we just appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
We appreciate you.
Yes. So
let's get into it. But before we do that, we just want to remind everyone that WoT In Color drops every Wednesday.
Every single Wednesday from henceforth.
Wherever you stream your podcast.
Everywhere.
We are everywhere.
Can you believe that? Shar, we have a podcast that's everywhere.
Yo, I've been listening to podcasts for a while. And just to see our podcast in the mix of other podcasts that I listen to, I just can't even explain how dope that is.
Definitely blew my mind to listen to our trailer and then hear my favorite podcast come on right after that.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And we sound similar?
Right.
Whoa, double whoa.
Right.
Right. It's amazing.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. As long as we keep doing it, we'll be doing it, right?
Yes.
So. Shout out to us.
Also, we definitely would love for you all in listening land to shop it up with us. We do have a Discord server.
Yes.
So come check us out, WoT In Color.
Yes.
On Discord.
There's a bunch of numbers that come after it, but we're definitely going to link our Discord server link in the description box.
Yes.
So that you can easily find us on Discord. Because I know Discord gets a little wonky with the, username and then 4756051734.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know why they do that, but, here we are. So we will definitely have the link in the description box so that you can easily find us and connect with us on Discord. That's going to be fun because, honestly, I will be very honest with you. For me, Discord... I'm probably not going to be in a lot of the channels because as a first-time reader, I know how this fandom gets. And you simply do not care. And so...
Well, I don't think that's true. I think that, honestly, this fandom does, a great job of warning you. Hey, there's going to be some spoilers. I'm about to say something and there'll be spoilers. Listen at your own risk. Read at your own risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how willing they'll be able to do that in the actual Discord, particularly when conversations start, getting intense. So I'm gonna, I'll peek an eyeball in there. I'll side eye. I'll jump in when I can.
Just stay in the the non-spoiler chat. We'll just have a non-spoiler chat for you.
So you can find Keba in the non-spoiler chat. Find me over there. I'll be over there, which is going to be really important for you guys to listen to the episode, because I don't want you guys to be like, yes, girl, and remember in 18? No, I don't. I'm not there yet. So
no, you have nothing to worry about. Trust me. I've been in other Discord channels and also even on social media, on Twitter. Not everyone, but usually people will hashtag WoT spoilers so that you know I'm not gonna click on this tweet.
Okay.
Because there's a spoiler. Okay. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
So I'm trusting
this
you all.
This fandom is very considerate.
I'm trusting you all. Please don't be mean. Please don't spoil this for me. I'm trying to enjoy it as a first-time reader.
We have lots of first-time readers on social media, in these Discord chats. It's fine. I
need to find my tribe. I'm going to
they're there.
I'm gonna make myself more active on Twitter. I'm also not a strong Twitter user. And so I think I'm gonna have to pull myself from under the Twitter rock and engage with my tribe as I digest these books, because
it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Just take it bite by bite.
I'm really hoping that by the time I really make myself really active on Twitter, that Elon Musk is somewhere selling the company to someone
I know that's right.
more capable of running this social media.
I know that's right.
You know.
Well, we shall see.
And the fingers are crossed, because what I don't want to do is get on Elon
praying?
Musk's internet. Okay.
Are we praying?
We hands up. All right. The only internet I recognize is Beyonce's.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hey. I'm just saying, I'll be at her concert in July.
Dope.
That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't know if there are any Beyonce fans who are also Wheel of Time fans, who are also ready to get their wigs snatched.
I know that's right.
But this is WoT In Color, so I'm going to take a moment to recognize the queen, the most Grammy award-winning artist of all the time.
I bet you she doesn't read the Wheel of Time, though.
And you know what? That's okay, because she's Beyonce.
Okay. And on that note, let's get into it.
Let's give the people what they have been waiting for.
Yes.
We dropped the trailer. They was like, give me more. And then we dropped episode 0, and they were like, oh, wait, okay. But like the book, right? So now we're at the book. So now I am bending back the spine of the eye of the world. Let's get into it, Shar.
Yes. So we want to do an overview.
Let's talk about everything that we are going to be reading.
Okay.
In this episode, or discussing in this episode, I should say.
So this episode, we're going to talk about... So first of all, Makeba and I have 2 different versions of The Eye of the World.
Oh, yeah.
So my version has the original Daryl K. Sweet covers, and Makeba has a newer version. In Makeba's version, some of the fandom may be aware of an additional prologue that was added to the series much later on, the earlier prologue called Ravens. So my copy does not have Ravens, but we're going to talk about Ravens anyway.
Yes, we are.
Then we're going to get into the actual prologue called Dragonmount, and then the first 2 chapters, chapter 1, An Empty Road, and chapter 2, Strangers.
Now, I know we said in episode 0 that we were only going to cover up to chapter 1.
Yes.
We changed our mind.
Yes, we
did. All right. And we're allowed to do that, because guess what? It's our podcast.
Yes.
So what we will do for those of us who are reading along with me, really, or if you're rereading, right, if you're rereading, what we'll do is we will put in the description box the timestamp where we start discussing chapter 2 specifically.
Yes.
So that we don't spoil it for you.
Correct.
So that you can keep on par with us. Or if you want to pause it, at the timestamp, read chapter 2 real quick, and then come back and hit play. Just make sure you come back
and
hit play.
Yes.
then you can do that as well, however you want to do it. But we are going to cover chapter 2. So let's dive in, Miss Shar.
Yes. So Ravens earlier, which is a prologue, and in this prologue, it is set from the point of view of a 9-year-old girl named Egwene. Egwene wants to be the best water carrier ever. Literally the best water carrier ever. So we're in Egwene's head. She's in her small village. The villagers are shearing sheep and doing everything that goes along with that. And her job is to provide the beverage for folks. So she's the water carrier. So she goes down to the river, she gets water, and then she goes along the river, goes along wherever everyone is shearing sheep or doing whatever their respective job is, and providing them with some liquid sustenance. And she just wants to be the best at it.
Yes. Admirable.
Yes.
Admirable.
That's
the correct
quality.
word.
Yes. And so as she goes along, we hear about other people in her village, other children in her village. And at one point, and I'm just going ahead, at one point, one of the elders in the village is telling the children a story. And they tell the children, this is a Tam Althor. Tam Althor tells the children a story which happened 3,000 years ago. And it's about a man named Luz Theron Telamon.
What a name.
And all that jazz.
That should be his own name.
Yes.
And all that jazz. Right at the end.
Yes. Oh, at one point, which is why it's called Ravens, at one point she notices a raven seemingly staring at her, which seems strange because ravens don't behave that way.
Was it staring at her or was it staring at all the men?
The raven was staring at all the men. I think at one point it also stared at her. I may be misremembering. I'm not sure. I don't have that in my book. So right. So I'm literally doing this recap on the top of my head because I don't have that in my book.
Okay.
Even I can access it, but it's not in this book that's in front of me right now. So in the end, we find out that she, in fact, is the best water carrier ever because they promote her.
It's crazy. How do you get promoted as a water? Anyway, we're going to save it. I'm saving it.
Small village. Shout out to small towns, man. Small communities. They definitely in the boondocks. Definitely, in the backwoods somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's the best water carrier ever. She doesn't have to do it anymore. And she gets promoted a year early or something like that. And so she's so proud of herself that she sets her next goal to be allowed to braid her hair younger than anyone else has ever been allowed to braid her hair. So in this world, in this village, not the world, but this particular village, the sign that a young girl has now transitioned into womanhood is if she's allowed to wear her hair in one braid.
That is protective style is very important.
Protective styles are important.
We'll get into
it. So that's her rite of passage. So she wants to be allowed to braid her hair. It shows that she's not a child anymore.
Right.
We get a little glimpse of her determination. Then we move into the other prologue called Dragon Mount. And apparently there's an earthquake of some sort. We're getting aftershocks of this earthquake. And the man, Luz Theron Telamon, the same man who, back in the Ravens prologue, Tam Althor was telling the children a story about. So here we are 3,000 years prior, and we are witnessing the events that have something to do with the story that Tam Althor was telling the children. And we'll get into it, but things happen.
Some things did happen
in this prologue, and we'll get into it.
This is just a brief recap.
And so this man, he dies and a mountain is replaced by him. He's replaced by a mountain called Dragon Mount. And we'll get into it. And then we start chapter 1. which is an empty road. And in chapter one follows Tam Althor, the same gentleman who was telling the story in the Raven's prologue. Him and his son Rand Althor, they're walking down what's called the Quarry Road. Apparently they have a farm, and they are carrying from their farm casks of apple cider and apple brandy because the village is having a festival. Mm-hmm. It's called Beltane.
Beltane.
And it is basically when spring starts. Mm-hmm. So it seems like it's a celebration of a new year, so to speak, in terms of harvesting and things like that.
Yes.
And so as they're taking this walk this morning, it's morning, Rand notices there's someone on the road, mm-hmm. a horseman, a man on a horse, and he's real freaked out about it. And we'll get into that. But tells his Pops. Pops is like, yo, I don't see nothing. Rand is like, yeah, it's probably nothing. So he's freaked out because he saw the man. Pops didn't see him. They get to the village. We meet some villagers. And we meet one of his friends, Matt, who does not want to help carry casks of brandy and apple cider into the inn, which is called the Wine Spring Inn. And then in chapter 2, which is called Strangers, we meet some more villagers, some more of Rand and Matt's friends. And they talk about this beautiful woman dressed better than any feast day clothes that they ever saw. And the man that is with her, he probably serves her. And they're just so excited. And they heard there's going to be fireworks, possibly a gleaming. This is going to be the best Beltane ever. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yes.
That's it.
So while it sounds like this is the build up, we're just getting to introducing to the characters and mm-hmm. getting the lay of the land and the who's who and the what's what. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, that's suspicious. That is suspicious.
Tell us about it.
First thing I want to say.
Okay.
When we are talking about the Raven's prologue.
Yes.
I understood braids and wanting to get your hair braided earlier.
I know that's right.
Because let me tell you something. My sister, and
yes, okay, my sister.
When I was young, all I wanted was some braids with some extensions. Mm. And my mama was like, no, you're too young. That's a grown woman style. Grown. You're not grown, right? No painting of your fingernails, right. No getting nail extensions, right. And no braids with the extensions. So, baby, when I turned, I think I was about 16, mm-hmm. when I was in high school, mm-hmm. I said, I'm a grown woman. I could do whatever I want. And my mama was like, okay, well, I guess you're old enough now. So I went and I got my hair braided in extensions. Mm-hmm. And I literally never looked back. That is the way that I wore my hair all the time. So I understand the idea of wanting to get your hair braided earlier and first. And I was like, I'm relating to this Egwene girl. I don't know her. She's but a child, but I am relating. I understand this. Sharnice, I know you understand this.
I do understand. Understand. I didn't even, that's really interesting. I've never thought about that. All of these years that I've been reading these books, I never equated the idea that in the Two Rivers, being able to wear a braid is a sign of maturity. I never equated that with me being a child and wanting my hair in a certain hairstyle. So I think that's pretty dope.
Yes.
That's what spoke to you.
I was like, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to at least enjoy Egwene because I understand wanting my hair braided. And her sister, because her sister...
Oh, her poor sister who
couldn't get her hair braided.
Poor thing.
Oh my gosh. I was like...
It begs the question, like, how immature do you have to be that you can't even get your hair braided?
Right, because what was going... Like, what... So, if I'm not mistaken, it's the woman's circle?
The woman's circle who decides.
Who decides mm-hmm. who's mature enough.
Yes.
Because clearly it's not about age, but who's mature enough to have their hair braided. Because correct. I guess their hair braided also indicates that they are ready for
marriage
and yes. partnership and children. So homegirl is sitting there. Sounds like she's in her late teens, early 20s.
Probably.
And she just got her hair tied up doobie style. I was just like, what's going on?
She got the pins in her hair.
She got pins in her hair. What's going on? What's happening? So I was like, Dag, what does she do? Is she just like, because when we meet her in the prologue, she's just sorting wool, and it seems like she's doing the things that she needs to do.
Yeah, we don't really know what it is about her. And I forget which sister this was, because apparently Egwene has several sisters.
She had like 4.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know we don't know what it is about the sister who is late with getting her hair braided. What is she doing? What is it about her personality? Is she silly? I don't know. We really don't get that.
Right.
We really don't understand what the criteria are.
Oh, but is she the same sister that's the avid book reader?
I don't remember.
I'll have to double check that. And listeners, please email us and be like, actually, you are absolutely wrong. This is why she couldn't get her hair braided. I'm down for all of that. But if I'm not mistaken, I think she's the sister who was the avid book reader. And so I wonder if her love of reading is being associated with her maturity. Right? This kind of idea that she has her head in the books and not on, whatever she needs to do to find a husband.
That's interesting.
Right?
That's interesting. I'm not really that sure.
So I thought that was interesting. And the other thing I thought was interesting when we get to the true prologue was when the dragon, I'm going to call him the dragon because his name is a mouthful.
You can call him LTT.
LTT.
Yes.
Boom. So when LTT decided he was going to turn himself into a mountain, I too would like to turn myself.
It would be wonderful to transform into natural phenomena like
when
mountains.
I perish, I would like for my loved ones to turn me into a tree.
I love it. You can do that though.
You can. I'm being so serious.
Have your ashes planted.
I'm being dead ass because No, don't even, not my ashes. You can take my whole body and you can put it in this pod in the I don't know, whatever it is.
Wait, is this a real thing?
Yes.
Wow.
As we decompose, the nutrients of your body feeds this tree. And so you can be buried in a pod. Right. And I just want my friends to come and sit under me and have a little read books and have a little cookout. Just don't burn me up, you know. Right. If you're into extra proclivities, a little puff here or there, that's fine.
That's all good.
I will provide your shade and cover. I want to be a tree.
So that's it. It's done. You heard it here first on WoT In Color. Keba will be a tree.
I say this to my husband and he goes, wow. Because what do you say to someone who is looking you dead in the eye and they're like, I want to be a tree when I die. And it's cheaper. It's way less expensive than an actual funeral and coffins.
Indeed.
Just roll me up, put me in the ground, plant the tree, and watch me grow.
I love it.
I
love it.
That is sustainable.
I would absolutely, it's definitely sustainable, environmentally friendly.
Right.
I would love to sit under your tree.
Oh, I would love that.
I would love if your tree can have a hammock. We can hang a hammock from your tree.
Girl.
And I would just hang out there.
Yes.
And just read books.
Yes. I will provide your I think it's a great idea.
That's hilarious.
I think it's great. But in reading, I thought there were a range of different themes that I would love for us to kind of dive into.
Go for it.
The first one being tradition. Because we know in the Black community, tradition, yes. Right? If I can say it like Mbaku, right? Is something that we hold on to so dearly. And I read a post the other day that said that tradition is nothing more than peer pressure from dead people.
What?
I screamed.
Yo, if that is not the most accurate description I have ever heard.
It's like, do it this way.
Peer pressure
from dead people.
Yo.
Isn't that wild?
I'm screaming.
When you really just sit down and be like, wow, so dead people that have been gone for hundreds of years.
Because they did it this way.
Because they want everybody to do it this way. This is the way we do it. And so I'm going to ask you, Shar, like, what traditions does your family or you even, like, hold on to that you maybe even don't even need to be holding on to? Like, I think the idea of the hair braiding tradition, I don't know if there needs to be like an age limit on how old you should be to get your hair braided, or, you know, I won't say that, but just tell me about these traditions.
So for me, that's so interesting. I feel like we all have a lot of similar traditions. So, you know, a lot of Black folks will eat for New Year's, right? We'll eat black eyed peas.
And collard greens.
For good luck.
Yes.
The black eyed peas are for good luck. And which is an interesting tradition, because I learned from reading the book High on the Hog that tradition actually comes from Africa.
Oh, wow.
And the black eyed pea, it was for good luck. And so somehow through the transatlantic slave trade, that carried over here.
I forgot to pick that book up. It's a documentary too as well, right? It is
on Netflix.
Okay, I've got to get into that.
Yeah, it's really dope. It talks about our food origins,
right?
You know, and why we eat what we eat. And I'm going to be honest with you, growing up, I really thought that black eyed peas was a Black American thing.
Yes, I can understand.
A Southern Black American thing.
I can understand why you would think that.
But it has its roots in Africa. That
is so beautiful. And I have to pick a bone with my grandmother, because she definitely told me, okay, here we go with tradition, right? But it's funny because it's like tradition and it's like telephone. Right?
Yes, because by the time the message gets to the last person,
So black eyed peas was always good luck.
Yes.
And collard greens was money. Okay. Green like the money. So you would make your black eyed peas and your collard greens on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And that is how you bless your year going forward.
Correct.
Now, I don't know where the collard greens part came in.
Right.
I don't know if she picked that up, because, you know, my grandmother's from the South, so I don't know if she picked that up when she was home from someone else.
And I didn't finish seeing the documentary, and I didn't finish reading the book, High on the Hog, so I'm not sure if they touch on that.
Ah, okay.
So maybe they do, maybe they don't.
Okay, so we're going to put a pin, because
put a pin in the collard greens.
I definitely want to watch that and then come back to it in terms of this idea of traditions and the peer pressure of the dead.
The peer pressure of the dead.
How much it actually really shapes and molds our lives. Like,
so interesting.
The gender roles that we're looking at in the book.
Yes.
Much like in this society, much like in every society,
very patriarchal,
come from these traditions of, well, this is how it was done in 1224, right? Whatever year you want to pick. And so this is how it has to be 3, 4, 5, 600 years into the future. And so I'm reading this book and I'm like, well, and Iguina's going through it as well. She's like, well, I got to come in here with this stuffy old dress.
Right.
And the boys get to like have their shirts open. And
right.
She was like, my work ain't no, less than their work. So how come I have to sit here in this little stuffy old wool skirt down to my ankles, and I'm in the water. I'm literally wading in the water.
That's so funny, because I noted that. That how, gender roles already being internalized by the children.
Right.
But getting back to what you said about tradition, you were asking me about any personal traditions. One thing that I always found interesting growing up, my family on my dad's side is from the South. And so, we were in New York. And so there were always the road trips, right? We're going down south every single year, a few times a year, family reunions, funerals,
right?
Easter break, whatever.
Right.
And so with my grandmother, and a lot of times it would be just me and my grandmother. And She packs us in the car, and you know what gets packed in the car when you take a road trip? Food.
And good food. And it's not just like finger foods, like you get your little potato chips. You getting fried chicken. You getting potato salad. Right. Like, you're getting meals.
Right. And so, growing up, taking those trips with my grandmother, I thought because my grandmother was a very prompt woman. So, she wants to get down south at a certain time. We need to leave at this certain time. Let's go. We're not wasting time. We're getting on this, we're going to burn up this I-95.
Right.
We're going to tear it up. We're going to get to where we need to go. So I said, well, my grandmother just doesn't like to stop, or she's being cheap. She doesn't want to spend money.
Not cheap.
In the restaurants, right? Because...
Okay, yes, fair.
Right? Fair. I want to stop and eat. I want to sit at a restaurant. I want to...
Experience the people and the different... Yeah, absolutely.
Things like that, right? Nope. No, I got you. We got food.
Yep.
Right? It never occurred to me that practice came from a tradition, right? But it wasn't necessarily dead people pressuring us. It came out of necessity.
Yes.
So my grandmother was born in 1920.
That's a good year.
1920 was a very good year.
Excellent
for very
year.
many reasons.
Yes.
So when I thought about that, I said, wait a minute. What was happening in 1920? What was happening in 1930?
Yep.
What was happening in 1940?
Yeah.
Right? Jim Crow.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Let's say my grandmother's a 20-year-old and she wants to take a road trip because at some point when she was in her early 20s and she was dating my grandfather, they lived in Boston.
Ah, okay.
So I imagine that, and my grandfather is also from the South. They're both from North Carolina. So I imagine there had to be times when maybe they wanted to drive down and visit family.
Absolutely.
In North Carolina. So take the road trip from Boston to North Carolina. What happens in 1942, a black couple, young black couple, takes a road trip from Boston down to North Carolina.
Girl, what happens in 2023?
And they get hungry. Right? Can they just see a restaurant and decide to pull over and go in?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not, because Jim Crow.
Quickest way to your demise, in fact,
is to stop at a restaurant and think you can sit down and be served.
Without using the green book, without doing your due diligence.
Correct.
Yeah.
So for our immediate ancestors, this is not a long time ago.
Tell them again.
Right? For our immediate ancestors, it was a necessity. You take a road trip, you need food. Because guess what? You can't stop.
Yep.
They're not going to let you, you're not allowed to use the bathroom.
Yep.
Because you're black.
Yep.
You're not allowed to eat their food because you're black. You may go miles and miles and miles before you find a place where you're allowed to go.
Yep.
So what did we have to do if we wanted to survive? We had to pack our meals with us.
Yes, pack the meals and find a space on the side of the road where you can pull over and allow everyone to relieve themselves.
Yes. I'm going to tell you something as a child. And again, I really thought it was my grandmother she doesn't want to waste time on the road. As a child, she would carry what were the wet ones?
Wait, not wet ones.
Oh, I'm taking it back. My grandmother, the car was full of containers of wet ones.
Wow.
For those of you who may be, I'm a woman of a certain age.
Okay.
Those of you listening who may be a little younger, wet ones are just wipes.
Yes.
Like baby wipes.
They're like baby wipes.
They're just wipes, literal wipes. So we had wet ones, and I don't know if she had hand sanitizer, but she definitely had wet ones. And there were plenty of times when I had to pee. Mommy, I have to pee. I called my grandmother Mommy.
Yeah.
Mommy, I have to pee. Okay. She pulled right over on the side of I-95.
Woo.
Pulled right over on the side of the turnpike, wherever we were. Open them 2 doors so nobody could see me.
That's it. And
on
right
the side
in between.
of the road, just squat right there. Here's a wet one. Take your wet one. Clean yourself up.
Yes.
Get back in the car. Let's keep it moving.
Yes.
I'm like, why can't we just go to the bathroom
right
at the rest stop?
Right.
Right. But and I never got a chance to talk to her about these things. But I imagine her tradition that grew out of necessity became her habit.
Yeah.
Right. So we're taking a road trip. We need food. This is what she's always done. Right. You want to use the bathroom? Oh, we don't have to go into the rest stop. Now we're talking as a child. This was like the 80s.
Yeah.
By then, we're allowed in the rest stops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Things like that. Yeah. Nope. Pull over to the side of the road. Relieve yourself. Clean yourself up. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. It's so interesting because bringing it back to the book a little bit, and as I'm reading the Raven's prologue, and we're in Egwene's head, where she's questioning these different traditions.
Right.
Instead of acting on trying to tear those traditions down, she takes the opposite approach, and she's like, well, I'm going to be the best water carrier ever. I'm going to...
If this is my lot in life for this time period, I'm going to do it big.
Right. And that kind of struck me as interesting. Because here's a 9-year-old who is extremely observant, right? She, as far as I know, she's the only one who saw these ravens staring down at everybody, which I think is...
weirdo vision.
Right. Like,
what's up with that?
It's a flag, right? It's definitely something to notice. But the fact that she seems to be the only one that noticed this, and... she's very observant. She's astute. She's smart, right? And she's questioning these things that don't quite make sense to her.
Right.
And instead of leading this charge to kind of break those things down, she falls deeper into the tradition.
Yes.
And I don't know if that'll become clearer as her story progresses on why she decided to take the role of diving deeper into the tradition as opposed to trying to break it down. Do you have, I mean, without any spoilers, of course, do you have any inkling as to if something like that gets addressed? Because I would think she would be like, I ain't carrying no water. Let the older kids carry the water. I'ma share me some sheep. Why can't, you know what I'm saying? Like
I get
me myself
saying.
Personally, I'd be like, I'm gonna make me a honey cake.
Right.
And I dare someone to stop me. You know? I'm bucking up.
You baking honey cakes?
I'm baking honey cakes.
You're not dipping water?
And all of that. All of that. I don't feel like dipping water today. What's up?
I love it. So one thing that I noticed in this world, and so I'm not gonna get into Egwene's arc, right? Because obviously I know it. I've read these books, right? So I'm not gonna get into that. But what I can say is this place, Emmons Field, in the Two Rivers, it reminds me of the dynamic that we're used to as children. Children should be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Right? You don't question your elders.
Right.
You do what you're told. Right. And so I definitely get that same feeling as I was rereading this Raven's prologue, that this is everyone has their place. Everyone knows what their place is, and they stay within that. Now, Egwene is questioning her place in all of this. And, she wonders, like, well, that's not fair. Why do the boys get to unloosen their shirts? I'm hot too, right? She definitely questions it, but she doesn't necessarily, like you said, she's not busting out,
right.
and protesting, right? And I think her protest is, I'm going to be the best, and I'm not going to have to carry water anymore because I'm going to see how dope I am. And now that I've accomplished that, and I know how fly I am, guess what's next? Y'all going to let me braid my hair early. Y'all going to let me braid my hair early. And I think that's her way of protesting it. She's still staying within the confines and the framework of the tradition of this small town, this close-knit town. This is how we do things here. But within that, I'm going to break some barriers.
Right. Okay.
Without tearing the whole thing down. Because I don't think that she wants to tear the whole thing down. I think, first of all, she's 9. Right.
Okay, fair.
So, we have to think like a 9-year-old would, right? And so, at that age, she's not 13 yet, right? 13 is that critical age. That's where you start rebelling.
Smelling yourself is what the older folks would say.
Right. You're getting too big for your britches.
That's the one.
Yeah, that happens at 13. When you start smelling yourself and you start saying, no, I don't feel like washing dishes. Why should I have to wash dishes? You're the one who dirties the dishes. Why I gotta wash the dishes? Right? That's what 13-year-olds do. 9-year-olds, they're not there yet.
Right.
So she's still...
Fair.
This is what we have to do. The girls, we gotta keep our shirts laced up. We wearing skirts.
Yeah.
Boys wear pants. Right. Boys can unloose their shirts and show off their little chests with no chest hairs when it's hot, because that's how it is. You know, girls, we can't braid our hair until the women's circle tells us to. Right. Because those are our elders.
Right. Who are setting the traditions.
And who are setting the traditions.
Or upholding them
Upholding them, yeah. Upholding them. Because we don't know where they originated from yet. Right. Or if we will. But that's what it is.
Yeah. And that speaks a lot to, in this idea of upholding these traditions, the community. Yes. And how they came together. And so one of the things that I noticed in the book was Egwene made a note to say that they didn't get together too often except to share the sheep or for maybe a festival or something, you know, big. But other than that, they kind of stayed to themselves. And I was like, so this is like a community, because if sheep shearing, you know, is the thing that brings everyone together. Yeah. Then wow, right? It's sheep shearing that, and in the way that everyone kind of just comes into this community, falls into their roles. It doesn't seem like they had a meeting where they were like, everyone 9 years old and under will be water carriers. Right. Everyone from 10 to 18 will shear the sheep, and the men will, they were just like, they got there and they rolled their sleeves up and they were like, well, this year I'm baking honey cakes. Right. So let me get over to that oven.
And even when Tam was telling the story, he was shearing his sheep.
Oh, he was doing his work.
He was working.
He was working.
It done. He was working. He was getting it done. And even he paused for a second because he told like a really climactic part of the story. And then when he stopped, he'd be like, yeah, give me another sheep. I'm done with this one. He was still doing his thing. Yeah, very, very fascinating.
But so patriarchal. Yeah. Because the boys were allowed to come and sit down and listen to the story, and Egwene had to
was supposed to carry water,
you know, waddle in the background and eavesdrop on this story while it was happening. And I was just like, well, me, myself, again, you know, trying to relate to how to plop right in between Rand and Matt. Move over. Right. Scooch. Can you make something? Okay, can you make some space? Right. My bucket need a spot too. Right. Can y'all move over?
We need a spot for the bucket.
Right. We need a spot for the bucket. You hogging all the good, you know.
You know the buckets can't have. So you know, we on a train, your backpack can't have a seat on the train. You know you get in trouble for that.
That's why I carry a smaller bag now. So in New York, for those who are unaware, when you are in a car and you very desperately do not want anyone to sit next to you, which is me all the time, put your bag you find a corner seat that has a rail or a wall or something, and you put your bag on the seat next to you. And that usually works. Now, if there's an elder, someone in a wheelchair, you get your ass up. Okay, that is
let
just
them sit down. That's just what you do. Yeah.
But if I look around this car and everyone looks able-bodied and everybody looks, you know, I'm gonna put my bag down and I'm gonna say these two seats are mine. One for me, one for my bag. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am. And there have been a few times where people are just like, so you're not gonna move your bag? And I'm like, well, I guess I am now.
Right? So, what, you gonna beat me up?
Right. Like, over a seat. Here we go. Welcome to New York City.
Just sit down.
Right.
It's not that deep.
Can you ease in? Because you're about to sit on me. But, you know.
Yeah, I absolutely will. Tight. Yeah, I do that. I put my bag. But if someone gets on the train, they don't even have to appear to be able-bodied. I don't even care about that. If you ask, can I sit down? Yeah, absolutely.
Fair. That's fair. I do as well. But if you don't ask, the bag ain't moving. Absolutely. The bag is going to be there. Absolutely. Real quick before we move on, because I know you and I have had many off-mic conversations about this Ravens prologue and if it needed to be added at all, if it should have been in the front of the dragon mount, or what the order should have been. Right. And I feel like your view has shifted a little bit.
It has shifted a little bit. So let me tell you about that. So when I started reading these books, so The Eye of the World was first published in 1990. Mm-hmm. At that time, the Ravens prologue didn't exist as far as we knew it. I don't know if Robert Jordan had it and just didn't include it, but it wasn't there. At some point, and I don't recall when, and listeners keep me honest, at some point, The Eye of the World was re-released and it was for youth. And so what they did was they split The Eye of the World into 2 books.
Oh, I mean, it's thick enough.
Yes, it is. And to appeal to the younger readers, the Raven's Prologue was included.
Okay.
So that's why it was done. Mm-hmm. So on my first read, I didn't have the Raven's Prologue. Mm-hmm. And I don't recall how many books in I was by the time I knew that there was a Raven's Prologue. Mm-hmm. But at some point, I found out there's a Raven's Prologue, so I searched for it because you will see, once you get into these books, you just constantly want more content.
Okay.
Everyone has this feeling. When we read that last book and the last scene of the last book and we close the book, we're like fiends. We're like, I want more. Okay. I want more content. So at whatever point I found out about the prologue, I was excited. Like, oh, more Wheel of Time that I don't have now. Let me read it. And so when I read it, I was like, I mean, this was cool. It gave me some insight. It was kind of cool getting insight into characters that I had already gotten to know as adults. And now I'm seeing them as children.
Yeah.
And it was cool seeing Tam tell the story. But by then I already knew the story. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get any new information per se. So I felt like, take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. Don't really need the Raven's Prologue to get everything out of the series that I want to get out of the series. Different than, there is a prequel, which you will not read until you've read a few books.
Oh, a few. Wait.
And I'll tell you why later.
Okay.
I'll tell you why later.
A prequel that I cannot read until I've read a few books.
Correct. So there is a prequel called New Spring, and the events are set right before the Eye of the World.
Okay.
But it's very spoilery for things that... So, and I can't really get into that. So the difference between the prequel is that you do get information.
Okay.
Right? That you didn't have before. At least for me. And if anybody disagrees, please hit us up. Let us know. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
But for me, the Raven's Prologue at that time didn't really give me anything that I didn't have. Now, fast forward, we're doing the podcast. Right? So now I'm rereading. And so when I realized that your copy has the Raven's Prologue, I was like, okay, now I have to read the Raven's Prologue. Right? So I was using my Kindle edition has the Raven's Prologue because Kindle editions tend to just update as books update.
Oh, okay.
It'll update. So my Kindle edition had the Raven's Prologue, which I don't believe, because I've always had these books, even on Kindle and everything else. I don't think that it was always there. And I kind of noticed, and I think I told you, like, oh, wait. Because I was looking for it online. Like, I know I can get the Ravens. It's posted somewhere.
Right.
And then I looked at my Kindle. I was like, wait, it's right here. I didn't know it was here. And then I also I bought a 30th edition hardcover. You're laughing at me
because I'm a super now fan. You have 18,000 copies of the same book.
Yes, I do. Unapologetically. Yes. And so my 30th, was it the 30th edition? Yeah, because 1990 and 2020, that's 30 years, right? Yes. So I got a 30th. Math, yes. Shout out to math.
Okay.
So I got the 30. It is important. I love math. Shout out to Pi Day. It's coming up.
Ooh.
So the 30th edition has they put the Raven's Prologue in there. So I was like, I can't believe I've had this all this time. So anyway, now we're rereading, and I read it in the order that it's in. And I said, you know what? This actually, I believe that if I had read it this way initially, I probably would not have been as confused as I was. I don't know how you're feeling, and I want you to tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah.
When I first read this book, The Eye of the World, and I read the prologue, I'm like, what the hell is going on? What
this man is a mountain.
The man, he done killed everybody. He calling for his wife, but you don't see her? Like, you that crazy that it took your eyesight?
Right.
You stepping over her, and you calling her Ileana. Yo, Ileana is staring at you, dead. She's on the floor. You just stepped over her.
Right.
I'm like, what is going on? Why am I reading these books again? I was so confused. I believe that had I read Ravens and realized that the story that Tam Althor was telling is the same story that now I'm reading about.
Yeah.
Because he tells the story of the events that led up to that moment in the prologue. I think I would have had an easier time understanding. what I did was I read the prologue and I was like, whatever, this is a prologue. Let me just move on. And I didn't focus on what happened in the prologue. I didn't think about it. I just moved on to chapter 1. Okay, there's a man and his son. They're walking down a road. All right, cool. Let's get it. Let's see what this story is about.
Right.
And I moved on. And then as I got further along in the books, then I realized I understood exactly what was happening in the prologue.
Okay.
Right.
So did it make you go back and reread the prologue?
Absolutely.
Like, okay.
Absolutely. I'm like, oh, okay, wait, let me go back and see what happened again. Yes. Absolutely, it did.
Okay.
So thank you for this idea to start this podcast.
Because I was like, okay, so what I was saying the last episode that I said I was going to pin for now was, I love YA. YA is probably one of my favorite genres. So reading that prologue, I was like, hey.
Okay.
You didn't tell me they was kids.
Right.
All right. Now we about to have a wang dang doodle. And then you like fast forward and you're like, oh no, these is grown people.
Right.
All right. So I gotta reshift because this is not a YA.
Right.
So I was like,
although lots of fans started reading these books as young adults.
Because you said they made a YA version.
Not because of, I can bet that if you just, so when we go to JordanCon,
okay,
we can ask people, and if we find out that they've started reading these books 20 years ago, how old were you? You'll get a very, people say, oh, I was 13 when I started reading these books. I was 12, I was 15, I was 16, and they were reading this. They weren't reading the Raven's prologue.
Right. So interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So another thing that I wanted to touch on a bit was in the Dragonmount prologue, where we're getting these themes, or at least I will speak for myself. I was getting these themes of grief, right? And then there's this theme of religion almost, right? Like there's this good and evil, this light and dark, this good and bad, this like Jesus and like God and devil. Yes. Right? And so I don't know if that's the case. It's giving God and devil. Right? And so like, am I sitting here reading about the origins of, time? Like he was here, then he turned himself into a mountain, and now 3,000 years later we have civilization. So I'm like, is this kind of like Genesis? Is this book 1 of the Bible?
That's so interesting.
What is happening? What is going on in this idea that grief can drive you mad in the way that LTT was driven, to turn himself into I will never not say he turned himself into a mountain, because he did. It is just so fascinating. Why, of all the things, a mountain?
Wow.
Oh, man. So I wanted to get your thoughts, because I see your wheels turning.
But it's interesting though. Like when you think about that, can you just imagine your life partner? You kill your life partner, and then you're not aware that you've killed your life partner, and you've killed your children. You've killed anyone and everyone in your life who you've ever loved. They're all dead, and you don't know. You have a theory?
I have a theory.
Okay.
Do you want me to save that theory?
No, go ahead. What's your theory?
I don't think he killed them people.
Oh, okay. We have to.
Is that a prediction? I'll save it for the predictions.
Okay.
I'll save it.
Yeah. Put a pin on that.
Yes, let's put a pin there.
So you find out. So we'll get back to that. So you find out that you suddenly become aware because dude who came for him was like, yeah, nah, you're not going out like this. I need you to be aware, right? When I take you, I'm about to take you. But when I take you, I need you to know
that I won.
That I won, Luz Theron. I won again, Luz Theron. And I want you to know why. I want you to be fully aware. And so he did whatever he did to make this man aware, to open his brain and his mind. And so now, just imagine you're Luz Theron and you suddenly become aware of what you did. You have completely annihilated everyone you love. Would that not drive you to madness? I mean, he was already mad, right? He's straight 730 already.
But my question is though, right? Like, what caused the madness? How did he get there?
Okay,
right? Well, because like the way that it opens up, he's just sitting here kind of like calling for his boo thing or whatever.
Hey, boo, where you at? We got
everybody's
company.
Just sitting here dead in a pool of blood or whatever. He's like, girl, did you put the tea on yet? Did you, like, and so I'm like, well, what's going on? And it feels almost like a dream, right? Mm-hmm. It's given this kind of dream-like state where it's like he's unaware, like he's dreaming. And then we run into this devil, darkness, dark one character. And so it's like, I feel like he went in there, slaughtered everybody. Oh, that's predictions. I'm sorry. We'll come back to that. Pin that. But I got theories.
I want to read a paragraph, and I just want you to think about every word.
Okay.
Okay?
I like thinking.
Yes. So just what I've noticed is that even though this series is very wordy, these words are not wasted words.
Okay, that's important. Okay.
So if Robert Jordan wrote it, there's a reason.
Something. Okay. All right, I'm listening.
So this is when Lews Therin notices that his wife is dead. Mm-hmm. And he assumes that this gentleman who was there to come get him, that he did it. Mm-hmm. And so he's angry. He's like, oh yeah, yo, you gonna pay for this. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This, everything, all the other bullshit that you've done. This is the worst. And so Money was like, oh yeah, nah, son. You got me fucked up.
Right.
I ain't kill your wife. Right? This is where we are.
Okay.
So the gentleman is speaking to Lews Therin. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Remember, you fool. Remember your futile attack on the great Lord of the Dark. Remember his counterstroke. Remember, even now, the 100 companions are tearing the world apart. And every day, 100 men more join them. What hand slew Ilyena Sunhair, Kinslayer? Not mine. Not mine. What hand struck down every life that bore a drop of your blood? Everyone who loved you. Everyone you loved. Not mine, Kinslayer. Not mine. Remember and know the price of opposing Shaitan. So now, if we go back to the Raven's prologue, right? Tam is telling the story of this war, right? Did you see me looking for the Raven's prologue in this book? I did. And I'm never going to find it. I have to go to my Kindle.
30 years later.
So.
Here, use my book.
Yeah, let me use your book.
The Ravens, it starts here.
So if we go back to the Raven's prologue, and we go back to where Tam is telling the story, right? Mm-hmm. And first of all, I find it interesting how no one wanted him to tell that story. Tam, don't tell these kids that story. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he talks about it. He's talking about Lews Therin, right? He's talking about the war between the light and the shadow, right? The good and the evil, what you talked about, right? Yes. And so at one point he says, but the light had a leader who would never give up, a man called Lews Therin Telamon, the dragon. Mm-hmm. Right? That was his nickname. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it talks about Lews Therin gathered men around him, the 100 companions. Mm-hmm. So Money was just like, remember the 100 companions? Like he's talking about this. Okay. He's talking about, so Tam is telling how it seemed like all was going to be lost and that the shadow was going to win. Mm-hmm. But at the very end, but they did not retreat or give up. All the way to Shai Ogul they fought. And if Thakandar is the heart of the shadow, then Shai Ogul is the heart of the heart. Every man in that army died, and most of the 100 companions. But at Shai Ogul, they sealed the Dark One back into the prison the Creator made for him, and the Forsaken with him. And the world was saved from the Dark One. Mm. And then that was the end of the story. Right? The world was saved from the Dark One. They sealed the Dark One into a prison, and all is well. Mm-hmm. But in the prologue, the Dragonmount prologue, we're being told something slightly different. Remember the counterstroke.
Okay.
Remember the counterstroke.
So
I just want you to think about that.
You want me to remember the counterstroke?
I want you to remember the counterstroke.
Well, if he didn't remember it, how the hell am I supposed to remember it?
I know, that's right.
Must not have been that great of a counterstroke now.
Right? Then right after he says, remember the counterstroke, he says, even now, the 100 companions are tearing the world apart. These are the same 100 companions that were fighting with Lews Therin. They're on the good side, right? The 100 Lews Therin and his 100 companions, they're fighting the shadow. Now he's saying, for some reason, the 100 companions are tearing the world apart. And then we find out in here that Lil Sterling killed his whole family and everybody.
So you trying to tell me you trying to tell me LTT is actually a dark one? He's actually like the bastard that needs to be controlled.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh.
What I am saying is remember the counterstroke.
Remember that I've written it down. I'm gonna try to remember the counterstroke. If they ever get to the counterstroke, I will remember it.
And we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And then we'll move on.
Okay. We should title the episode "Remember the Counterstroke."
Remember the counterstroke.
That's the title of the episode.
Why am I saying that so sensual?
Because counterstroke.
Because stroke.
Because counterstroke,
because
baby.
Stroke.
Okay. Because if there's a stroke, there's a counterstroke.
Yes.
When two people are doing it right.
It's given. You know what it's given? It's given Jilly from Philly.
Oh.
Crown Royale.
Oh, Crown Royal on ice.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's what it's given. That's what Counterstroke is given.
Is WoT After Dark.
That's WoT In
Color After Dark. We'll save that.
Give you that thrust. Pull me right back to you.
Ooh, Counterstroke.
Counterstrokes.
So you want me to remember the Counterstroke?
All right, podcast over. I gotta go home.
Bye. Well, I know we said we was family friendly. We lied. Yeah, we lied. Send the kids to bed. We are so sorry.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So where were we? Let's refocus.
We gonna remember the counterstroke.
We gonna refocus.
I also want to touch on the stranger in chapter 2.
Let's talk about the stranger in chapter 2.
She's somebody.
She's somebody.
She ain't just nobody. She's rolling in here acting like Beyonce.
Is she from everybody, right?
Literally.
And they've never seen anyone like her before. So we're talking about Moiraine.
Moiraine.
Moi. Like
moi.
Like I.
Okay.
Like me in French.
Moiraine.
Moiraine.
Okay. Moiraine.
Some people say Moiraine. Moiraine.
No, we get names correct over here.
Oh, is that what
names
we do?
are important?
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna give you a nickname because the names are also a lot. Okay. But I respect your name in its full entirety. So
So if you ever listen to the audiobooks, you're just gonna crack yourself up. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Audiobooks are dope, though. The audiobooks are dope. But in the beginning, you'll hear different pronunciations for the same name within the same book. It's
Lord. So funny. Continuity, my people. Continuity. Ooh, so okay. Funny. So the
names,
stranger,
cities, everything.
So everybody pronounces it different all the time?
Not all the time. And it kind of evened out after a while, but definitely in the first book.
Yeah, I had a meeting about it. Did the council get together and they were like, listen.
This is how it's pronounced.
Oh my gosh. So she's in town with her land.
Her land. Okay.
Because that's his name.
That's his name.
And I don't know what he would be to her.
Okay.
Other than her land.
He is hers.
Period.
In some way, shape, or form.
And she's out here stunning the youngsters.
Yeah, and she's stunting on them hoes.
Stunting, but when I tell you, they talking about she's gliding across the grass. Okay. She Lady Moiraine. I'm like, okay, well. Okay.
So what do you think about her? Why do you think she's there?
I'm going to get to that in predictions.
Okay.
But she says that she's there to collect stories. But I think she is the story.
Okay.
I think she is the story.
Okay.
Shit about to bust down.
Okay.
And she's there to, I'll save that for predictions.
Okay.
But I just wanted to touch on her real quick because I am going to bring her up in the predictions.
Okay.
But, and there's one more character that I really want to discuss that we haven't discussed yet that I think, outside of Egwene, might be one of my faves.
Okay.
And that's Nynaeve.
Okay. She's
a little crotchety old thing.
Okay.
She's grumpy, and I don't know what her fucking problem is, but I love her. I love her crotchety, cranky ass. She just really be out here shunning these dudes like.
So I actually don't think we meet Nynaeve?
In the prologue, we meet Nynaeve. In the Ravens prologue.
Okay,
we meet Nynaeve.
Yes, we did. But we didn't meet her yet.
We haven't met her officially
in chapter 1 and 2.
No, she has been talked about.
Yes.
In the chapters 1 and 2.
That's correct.
But we don't physically see her presence in the story.
Yes.
But we meet her in the Ravens prologue.
Yes.
And even then she's got an attitude.
Yes.
Because she's getting in trouble. And Egwene is peeping from around the corner, being nosy.
Yes.
And Nynaeve is over here like, that bandage is tight. I don't even know what you're talking about. And she's just like, the original wisdom was like, actually, no.
Actually, it's not.
He's about to die. Thank you.
So I'm about to do it over.
Right.
Because you don't know what you're doing. That's why you're the apprentice and I'm the wisdom.
Right. And Nynaeve's over here like, ain't you got something to be doing? You over here checking all in my business or whatever. Why? Ain't you got some water to collect?
Right.
Because there's an age difference.
There's some thirsty folks.
Right. And I'm not one of them. So you need not be here in this presence. Move along, child. Right? That's the energy.
So I think she was just embarrassed.
I guess, but also
being shown up in front of a child.
Yes, and you know what? I think this is a perfect segue to our Sis Be Steadfast.
Okay, let's do it. Sis Be Steadfast.
If we had a Patreon.
Yes, if we had some patrons, we're going to get that popping soon. Yes, so you guys can start supporting us because we need some sound effects.
We need sound effects. We need something to usher in our... Anyway, that's outside business. Anyway.
So Sis Be Steadfast. Yes. This is our segment where, if you remember, we described it. This is where we're going to give our characters unsolicited advice. This is the Dear Abby, if you will, portion of the podcast. Mm-hmm. So let's do it. What advice do you have?
My Sis Be Steadfast this week is for Nynaeve.
Okay.
I need her to be steadfast. Okay. And I see a lot of haters is doubting you because I bet you that rap was just fine.
Right.
And the wisdom was having a bad day that day.
Right.
I see your abilities to do your job well, and you are doubting it, and people are doubting it. And I have been there. All right. And I just want you to know that feeling of needing to do something so perfectly so that you shut up the peanut gallery is going to be consistent throughout your life because you are a woman. Mm-hmm. And there are always going to be people that are going to have something to say about you, to you, through you, for you, against you, all of the things. And I just want you to understand that history always dictates that the person that has the greatest struggle will always have the greatest success. So you be steadfast. You are the wisdom. You were chosen for a reason. You are an apprentice. You are there to learn. You're there to grow. And this is only the beginning. I know you're going to be a better wisdom than all the other wisdoms that ever came. I'm just speaking that to you. I'm giving that to you. I don't know what the fuck finna happen.
Right.
But I hope you don't embarrass me on this here podcast.
I know that's right.
So I am rooting for you, Nynaeve.
Yes.
You be steadfast and you be the best wisdom that you can be.
I know that's right. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Yes. I'm snapping my fingers right now.
We rooting for you, Nynaeve. Over here. Don't embarrass me, sis.
We rooting for you, sis.
Don't embarrass me.
So I have some advice for Egwene.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
For 9-year-old Egwene.
Okay.
Child.
Oh,
baby
not
girl.
Child.
Baby girl.
Oh, no.
Listen here, baby girl. I sense something in you, baby girl. I sense a certain unrelenting need to just be the best Egwene that you can, regardless of what circumstance you're put in. Now, you mentioned that everyone is expecting you to marry Rand, which I find interesting that 9-year-olds get betrothed. So here's what I have to say to you, sis. You seem like someone, you have goals, you have aspirations, you're trying to get your hair braided early. But I have a feeling that you want to get your hair braided early, not so you can marry Rand. I feel like you just want to get your hair braided early because no one expects for you to get your hair braided early. So what I have to say to you, sis, is be steadfast.
Yes.
Don't put all your eggs in Rand's basket. First of all, eggs are like $10 a carton right now. So
hello.
We can't afford no eggs right now.
You can't give that man no eggs.
I don't even eat eggs because I'm vegan, right? But if I did, I would be stressed out right now having. But I feel for y'all. I feel for y'all non-vegans that gotta buy eggs. I'm sorry.
We just don't buy them no more.
Okay,
it's okay. We put something else with the breakfast.
Yeah. So sis, be steadfast. Keep your eye on a prize. Whatever your goals and your aspirations are, focus on that. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about betrothals at 9. What is that? What is that? 9 years old. Yeah, you gonna marry this one?
I don't even think I was thinking about. I mean, yeah, I was thinking about boys, but I don't think I was thinking about like being with them forever.
I wasn't thinking about boys at 9. I was definitely just thinking about hip hop and double dutch. You know, things like that.
No, I was definitely thinking about boys.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if that makes me fast or what, but
yeah, I wasn't thinking.
No, but not even like oh, he's adorable. Oh, he's cute. But not like I'm going to get married to him when we're about 15, 16 and have all of his babies and cook all of that. I never even thought I was ever going to get married. So like very interestingly enough, at 9 years old, much like Egwene, I was just like, I'm out here. Boys is cute or whatever, but I was raised Muslim, so I was going through a lot of the similar thought process that Egwene was going through with the I gotta wear my hair covered. This is weird. Why I gotta wear my hair covered? My brother don't gotta wear his hair covered.
Interesting.
But I was like, okay, well then I'm just gonna have to wear this kimar, and that's just it is what it is, and I'm going along with my tradition.
Right.
But I was definitely thinking about boys.
Interesting.
That was in the purview. Yeah, it was.
Interesting.
Yeah. But if you have a steadfast that you would like to offer any of the women in the books that we are reading, dear listener, please send that over to us, wotincolor@gmail.com. That is WOTINCOLOR@gmail.com. We would love to hear what kind of advice you would give to these heroines in this story who are going through a minute. They need a moment. They need a listening ear. They need a sounding board. They need some strong advice to get them through the next chapter. Send that in to us. I would love to hear it. I would love to read it. And I would love to share it. Yep. So I hope you share with us. Yes. So
right. I feel like our next segment, it's giving. I feel like we've kind of already done that. Mm-hmm. So do you have anyone for the next segment, the last segment?
I got 2 people.
Okay.
For our next segment.
So our next segment is called Water and Shade.
Whoosh, whoosh. I don't know what sound effect would be there. I'm
sorry.
That's
hilarious.
I'm sorry, hilarious. Guys.
Water and shade. And so it's not what you think. The shade is we throwing shade. Mm-hmm. We throwing shade. Mm-hmm. This is going to be our dummy of the day.
Mm-hmm. Of the chapter or of the segment or of the whatever.
Correct. So go ahead, Keba. Give it to us. Who we throwing shade on today?
First of all, and quite ceremoniously, might I add, both of my water and shades are going out to 2 dudes. Okay. Interesting. First of all, Kinley. Okay. You little punk. All right. I'm going to need you to mind your business.
Mind your business.
Let me recap for our listeners. Kinley was the young gentleman who approached Egwene as she was filling up her water bucket, and she was taking a minute to kind of, dip her toes in the water and roll her dress up and enjoy the cool breeze. Because, she's working hard. She finna be the best water carrier, and best water carriers need a minute. They need a beat. And he rolled up on her talking about why you standing here? You need to be carrying your water. Don't make me come back here. And he's trying to stand all straight. I was like, whoa. Mind your business before somebody takes you out at the ankles. Because you ain't but 2 days older than her anyway. All right? You was carrying water just like she was carrying water, which means we all got the same job right now.
Right.
You not above me and I'm not above you. Mind your business. Right. Okay? Carry your water. You focus on being the best water bucket carrier you can be. Right. And leave me alone. Yes. Well, I hate a nosy sucker who come all up in your business when they not doing the things they're supposed to be doing.
That happens at work, right?
All
the time.
All the time. Like, if you was doing what you needed to do, you wouldn't have time to be standing over here talking to me about things that I'm not doing. Right. So neither one of us ain't doing shit. Right. But you gonna try to scold me about not doing shit? Because you think you better than me? If you don't get your downtrodden ass away from me, go fill up them damn water buckets and go pass them around. That's why your ass got caught stealing them honey cupcakes because
he sure did.
Because you was out here minding other people's business.
You need to drink water.
Drink your water and mind
your
your business. Okay, next. Matt, get your ass up and help Rand carry them barrels into that damn inn.
I promise you I had the same one. I had the same one. That was my water.
I hate a lazy friend.
Listen.
I hate a lazy friend.
So I'm like, yo, how old are these dudes? Like, you seriously just gonna scoff at your elders like the way I was raised?
Okay. Because the backhand. Tell them about it, Shar.
You understand? The way I was raised, if the elders are carrying anything, what, I'm standing there and watching them carry it?
You
don't jump up and offer to help.
Okay.
You getting knocked in the next week.
Next week, next month, and you better hope you can make a return in time to help them carry the rest of them barrels, Matt.
Exactly, Matt. Come on.
A strong backhand with a ring on?
Right.
You getting a busted lip, my guy. You better get your lazy ass up.
Get your lazy ass up.
And it was crazy because he's like ducking behind the wagon where the barrels are. He's literally hiding.
He's hiding from
trying to talk to Rand.
And trying to get him like, yo, come on, son.
Right.
Come on, son. Why they not paying attention? Are you serious? It really makes you think they're like 12.
And that's why I initially thought it was a YA. Because I was like, ain't no way these people 2021. Like these,
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Crazy.
I listen, Matt, get up, you lazy son of a bitch. Carry them damn barrels into the inn and have your conversation as you are carrying them.
Listen,
okay?
Right.
Then you can talk about all the things you've seen and didn't see or want to see and who's coming, the Beltines and Gleamans and the fireworks. This
is going to be the best Beltine ever.
Okay, on the way to the inn while we carry these barrels. Right. Because 4 hands are better than 2.
Right.
Fool. You know what? Okay, I'm done with Matt.
I know that's right.
You got anything to add to Matt?
I don't. That's what I had for my water and shade.
Ooh, okay.
That's exactly
I had to get that off my chest. That was sitting heavy because I said, ooh.
Release it, sis.
You two bastards. Y'all deserve something. I don't know what yet, but we gonna figure it out. Now we're gonna move. We gonna woosah first.
Let's woosah. Deep breaths.
If you have, my friend listener, if you have a water and shade that you would like to submit to us,
yes.
Heavy on the shade.
Heavy
all right?
on the shade.
Heavy on the shade. Let's leave them parched and let's leave them dry. Send it on in to wotincolor@gmail.com. You can direct message it to us as well. The DMs are open, as I like to say.
Slide on in.
You can slide them to wotincolor@gmail.com. You can send them to @wotincolor across everything. We'll definitely drop that again later in the episode. But send them in. I would love to hear who pissed y'all off during these first couple of chapters in these 2 prologues. Because I'm sure that there were some other people that you were like, actually, LTT out here, killing his family and turning himself into a mountain. He needs a water and shade. Not you escaping your responsibilities by going mountain mode. Like, no. So just to send those right on in. I want to read them. I want to laugh with y'all. I want to share those so we can all chat about it together.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I think we've pretty much covered everything.
I think we've covered everything.
We the only thing we just did not mention. Did you have any thoughts on Moiraine giving them coins?
I said she rich.
She's
and that
rich.
Means something. Because I feel like in these times, one, I think they noted that her coin was different than their coin. So I feel like she's from a different land or a different place or even a different time where the money looked different.
Do you want to get into your predictions now?
All right. I think Moiraine.
Yes.
Moiraine is a descendant or a reincarnation.
Okay.
Of the dragon's wife, of LTT's wife.
Interesting.
And I think she's here to set shit off because either she's about to release old boy from the mountain or she's coming in because I feel like she is the story. I don't think she's there to collect stories. I think she is the story. Like her style of dress was different. Her money was different. Everything was different about her, and they didn't know where she came from, and she was just floating on the grass. I think she's either a descendant or a reincarnation. She's fitting to set LTT out of that mountain. Mm-hmm. They finna set shit off. I feel like shit is about to go down.
That's interesting.
Because she's there. She need her lick back. She need her lick back.
So Moiraine as the reincarnation of Ileana.
Yes.
And she's gonna go get her man.
She gonna get her man
from the mountain.
Because he is the mountain. So she gonna go get the mountain.
She's gonna go get the mountain.
She gonna get the dragon mountain, the mountain dragon.
Dragon mountain.
My other prediction was I don't think that LTT killed his people. I think whoever rolled up on him is lying.
Okay.
I think whoever rolled up on him, whether it was the darkness, the devil, the whomever, the opposition, the op.
Okay.
I think the op rolled up on him. Right? And put him in some kind of dream-like trance, slaughtered all his people, Counterstroke or whatever, and was like, you did this. You think I did this? Because we all know the devil is a liar. Okay?
The devil is a liar.
And so I think the op went in there, slaughtered everybody down, put him in like whatever dream-like trance, took him out, was like, whoa. How you just kill all your people? That's crazy.
That's crazy, son. That's wild.
That's wild.
Okay.
Look at what you did, knowing that shit was going to drive that man mad.
Okay.
And so I think the op is out here opping. I think
what's the end goal of doing that? So that he just goes
I feel like he won.
Crazy?
I feel like he low-key won because he turned into a mountain.
Okay. But I hear you. I hear you, sis. I hear you.
Uh-huh. She about to tell me to be steadfast, y'all.
Be steadfast. At the very end, when LTT became a mountain, last paragraph, second to last paragraph, on the island, the air shimmered and coalesced. The black-clad man stood staring at the fiery mountain rising out of the plain, his face twisted in rage and contempt. You cannot escape so easily, dragon. It is not done between us. It will not be done until the end of time.
Yeah, because he wanted to take him out. I think he also very specifically was like, I remember how you were like, I need you to know it was me.
Right.
Right? Tell Cersei it was me. Right?
I
did it. Tell that bitch it was me.
Shout out to the Queen of Thorns.
Okay.
On Game of Thrones.
Okay. So he was very much like, he was very much on his tell Cersei it was me shit. And so he was like, oh, you think you can run by turning yourself into a mountain? you think it's over? I'm gonna smite you, my guy. It don't matter. I'm going to smite you. You shall die by my hand, G. All right, that's it. I'm like, all right. It's on site. I love it on site beef. What we talking for? Right. What are we talking for? So I said, okay, it's on site.
Okay.
He's like, I'm going to smite me.
I'm gonna smite thee.
Right. To the chest, one in the head, okay? It's a little too much. I'm gonna pull it back.
Yo.
But yeah, so those are
your predictions?
Asinine predictions as per your face.
No, I don't know. I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at the predictions, I'm just laughing at the all the references you making.
Yeah.
Because people die every day, B.
People
get shot every day, B.
Every day. Every day.
All right.
And if you don't kill your op yourself, did you really kill him?
Are they
really dead?
So my man is like, nah, this shit ain't over.
You think you a mountain that's gonna save you?
Think that's it?
Okay, witness protection mountain. Like, nah, fam. Nah, fam.
Not witness protection.
Nah, fam. When your ass melt or whenever you decide to break up out your mountain, I'm finna be here. I'm already stalking around. The kids see me. They know what's up.
They know what it is.
They know what's up. Black man in a black cloak. I'm coming for you. All right.
Well, he was black.
Right, but he was black clad.
Yeah, he had black clothes on.
Yeah. Dressed in all black like the old man.
Like the old man.
He's coming. He's coming. He's waiting for you. He's waiting for you. Whenever you're ready to demountain. All right?
Demountain? Yo, I'm screaming. So, listen. I need folks to hit us up, slide in our DMs. Tell us what you think about Keba's predictions.
Tell easy on me. Think. All right? You can call me Adele. Go easy on me.
Just keep it spoiler free.
Yes.
Keep it spoiler free.
Yes.
Wow. Yes.
And next Wednesday, Tell them what we doing, Shar.
So next Wednesday,
we
are going to be discussing chapters 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 is the peddler. And chapter 4 is the gleeman. So we'll see what that's about.
Yes. And in the meantime, in between time, you can find us on the holy grail of social media.
All the socials.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them at WoT In Color. You can listen and subscribe to us on all the podcast spaces.
And please, if you like what you're hearing, please give us a shout.
Yeah.
Please give us a shout. Give us a rating.
Yes.
Let us know what you think. It definitely helps.
Yes. We on Spotify. We on Apple. We on YouTube. We on SoundCloud. We on Google. We on TuneIn. We on Audible. We on Amazon.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. And that's at WoT In Color.
WoT In Color.
WoT In Color.
With Keba Shar.
And very important, you can chat with us. All right. I may not be in the DMs all the time. The DMs are open, but Keba may not be in the DMs all the time. Shar may take a break from the DMs. Right. But you can find us on our Discord server by clicking the link tree in our bio.
Yes.
Or in the description box below, so that you can chat with us on Discord. It's starting to get popping. People in there starting to get lit now. So join the conversation. Don't FOMO this, y'all. Don't FOMO this up.
Yep.
Get in there. It's free.
Yes.
We just want to say hi.
Say what up.
We're mad nice or whatever.
Or whatever.
Okay? And if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, if you have any Sis Be Steadfast, if you have any water and shades,
let us
send
know.
Send them to our Gmail.
Yes.
wotincolor@gmail.com. Of course, WoT In Color, WOTINCOLOR, one word, @gmail.com. We check those every day.
Yes,
all
we
right?
do.
Slide into our emails. Send us your things. Let us know if we have permission to read them on the show.
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yeah.
And I might and I'm just going to ask for permission now. And I'll ask for forgiveness if you forget. Okay? So I'm going to read them. So just know we're here. We're in community. We're here to share. We're here to laugh. We're here to read these books. And we're here to have a good time.
Yep. All right.
Well, this was fun.
It was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was so incredibly dope.
These are the kinds of conversations about books that I love to have, and why it's so important to have, diversity in thought and familiarity at the same time with people who you're discussing books with. So we really hope that, our listeners, that you feel, like you're walking away with a greater understanding of cultures and traditions that Shar and I share as Black women, and that you will add to this discourse so that we can understand cultures and traditions that you have.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say, Keba, thank you so much for coming up with the idea of us to start this podcast. Woo. Because as many times as I've read these books, I never once thought about it within the framework that we did today.
Yeah.
Never read these books and thought about my own traditions. Never thought I'd be talking about the history of Black Eyed Peas, things like that. So I'm
not the band.
Not the band. The actual food.
Just wanted to stress that one more time.
But I really do appreciate you. I appreciate this space because I don't think I ever would have done that on my own. I love these series. I will reread them. I don't think I've ever would have put myself in that space.
Right.
And talked about these books. So this is going to be a wonderful adventure for us, I think.
It's going to be a wang dang doodle, if you will. If you will. All right.
So right now we just want to give some big ups.
Yes, I think it's important.
Yes.
We're going to give some, how you say it, gal? Big ups, big ups.
All of the women, them.
All right, so no, we don't want to get sued. We don't want to get
sorry.
That's it.
So yes, we want to shout out folks that we think should be shouted out. So first big up, the lights work.
The lights work. I don't know if you guys have a theme song yet, but I can't wait to learn it.
They do have a theme song. It doesn't have any words. Did you get deflated?
I did. So that's okay. I'm gonna make up some words for you guys.
Excellent. So the beautiful souls at the lights work. We just wanna shout you out, and if you are a Wheel of Time fan and a podcast listener and you have not subscribed to The Lights Work, I don't know what your problem is. I just
tell them.
I just don't know. So we'll have the link in our description.
Yep. Easy peasy for you to just go on ahead and click and subscribe and like and comment and share on The Lights Work, because they are truly
doing the lights work.
Truly, okay? They have been making people cry since they started.
Whenever that was.
2022. Yes.
And we have another shout out, another big up.
We do. All you good folk over on the Twitter of time.
Yes.
In the Twitterverse.
Yes.
You guys have embraced us.
Yes.
And have done something phenomenal.
And you continue to do so.
The engagement that we've received has been
amazing.
Indescribable.
Yes.
For an introvert, overwhelming, but so appreciated. Don't stop. Don't let my awkwardness deter you from doing what you are doing.
Can't stop, won't stop.
It is phenomenal, and we appreciate and love you all.
We do.
We cannot wait to break bread with you at the world famous Jordan Con.
Yes.
Because that's what's going to happen.
We will be there.
And just one more big up to my middle heartbeat, my husband, Dr. Hudson. When I told him I wanted to start a podcast, he was 1,000% on board. He helped me do the research. He has allowed me into his man cave and and given me the space to record this with Shar, and he's been so supportive, and I can't thank him enough for all of his love and all of his support with helping us get this launched and off the ground. He's like low-key my benefactor. Yes. Right? So I just want to thank him for helping us really get the research, get the equipment, get the space, being a listening ear, giving ideas. He's so behind the scenes, and that's how he likes it. But I just want to make sure he gets some on camera or on mic shine. And so shout out to Dr. Hudson, you'dabomb.com.
Aww.
Hubby, bubby, wubby, or whatever the girls be saying.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to Dr. H.
Yes.
Dr. TH.
Yes.
So listen, thank you so much for listening to WoT In Color. Remember to come in love and go in peace.
Just don't let the wheel run you over on the way out. Deuces.